last poem I'm going to read. It's called Anne Bonny Makes a Daredevil Escape Out of the History Books. Let me just say a couple of words about the historical context. So Anne Bonny is kind of both a historical person and a legend. Like there's a trial record that she existed, and there's notices for her arrest, but a lot of her biography, like her early life and what happened to her after she was arrested, is entirely legend. So this is kind of about trying to tell her story while realizing that there were always going to be gaps and inaccuracies in it. So Anne Bonny makes a daredevil escape out of the history books. Official dispatches to privateers searching for bounties, court records. That's where Anne Bonny writes her autobiography. Daniel Defoe tries to write her story. Because women pirates are sorceresses, Anne Bonny transforms Defoe into a ghostwriter. Why else should the writer of a marooned mariner tale need a pseudonym to write a true crime book on villains of the high seas? His work is by all accounts impeccably researched, but in this instance he cannot cite his sources before Anne Bonny turns them into ghost sources. As he writes the names of the informants, the ink with which he writes their initials changes phase into the smoke that is wafting from her smoking gun. For a century, the peppered moths painstakingly inscribe on their wings the bits of the story Defoe is missing. When the moths lose interest in the role of flying archive, they replace their history book wings, speckled with names, dates, and cartography charts, with wordless wings of shadow paper. In hurricane-force winds, history's faithful, flightless servants chase Anne's father through the rice fields of 18th century Charleston. They pursue him across the Atlantic back to Cork County, Ireland. When he disappears inside a law office, the historians know they have him. They stand outside his office window, beating silver spoons together until he agrees to a paternity test. Grading on a curve, the antiquarians review the man's short answers. Lawyer William Cormack passes. Finally, there is evidence. The historians are ready to grant Anne Bonny the enviable status of respectable, verifiable, historical person. The biographers plead with her. Give us a map with X marks the spot of your burial, and we'll give you a ticker-tape parade. Give us a death certificate, and we'll consider a national holiday. Dear Anne Bonny, freeze. I intend to capture you alive. Strike a roguish pose. The camera hasn't been invented yet, but I've got my paints with me. I've set up an easel at the foot of this lifeboat. I only hope my strokes will be fast enough to keep up with the fresh gale that is carrying you away from me. I call out to her, throw me a line, I've changed my mind. I don't want an image. These rough seas make the production of artistic renderings near impossible anyway. I don't want an image. I only want to be with you. But it's too late. She's already disappearing into the marginal space between ocean and sky. Anne Bonny sails herself like a boat out of the stack of history books I'm holding in my arms. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. I think we should have another round of applause for Keely, because she's amazing. Bravo. I also just want to thank everybody that's involved in this process. Thank you, everybody, for coming and supporting us. Thank you, AnneMarie Munn, for designing the book. She's got some things for sale on the ridge tables back there as well. Thank you, Unwoman. Thank you, the opening reader, Liz Green. Thank you, the 14 Hills staff for all your hard work on this event.